it's certainly a great week for us and hopefully the beginning of something very positive for the future.
The Morial Convention Center is hosting a trade show this week, taking a big step toward business as usual. Good evening, I'm Shelley Brown.
And I'm Lee Zurich. For the first time in nearly a year, the Morial Convention Center is opening its doors for something not related to natural disasters or the pandemic. Caitlin Rust has more on this week's trade show and why it's a good sign for our wounded tourism-based economy.
Of the Ernest and Morial Convention Center, not only in the state's first federally funded mass vaccination site, but also in a return to regular business in Hall G.
This is the first event like this that we've had in about over 320 days.
Convention Center President Michael Sawaya's 400 employees have been hard at work providing hurricane and pandemic relief.
Just the fact that they have the ability to welcome people back into our building and to host an event. And I mean, you can see the smiles on their faces even through the masks.
Sawaya says the convention center was one of the first facilities in the country to meet the standards of the Global Star Alliance accreditation.
We have an industrial hygienist on board who really focuses on making sure services are taken care of and that we have protocols in place to make sure that we are welcoming people into a very safe environment.
That's how the HQ trade show, which focuses on CBD and other alternative health products, is able to set up 50 booths through Wednesday night.
Everybody's really accommodating and everybody's excited that we're here.
Mike Sessom, who's in charge of the event, says they're excited to get back to work, looking to have around 650 people pass through, a tall order compared to their more one-on-one private events.
Launching a new convention hall style booth trade show in the middle of a pandemic as a first show definitely has its challenges, but we're pulling it off.
With COVID protocols at every turn, Sawaya says this smaller show will help them practice for when larger conventions come back, a much-needed shot of adrenaline to New Orleans' tourism-driven heart.
Well, this is the engine that makes all that work. If you think about it, business related to the convention center, about 25% of the visitors that come into New Orleans. So it's a very significant part of our economic and very significant part of the industry here for tourism.
Sawaya says they're working closely with the fire marshal and the city's health department to make sure they can host larger scale conventions depending on the city's numbers as well as a vaccine distribution. He says they're looking at a very busy midsummer to early fall. Lee?